I know everybody a go lie. I know everybody a go lie. Success don't come overnight. No matter know a substance over hype. Do it for the love, me not do it for the life.
What's good? Welcome to another episode of Keeping It Real. I'm streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Keeping It Real is your go-to show for personal and professional development, diving deep into fitness, public speaking, networking, and sometimes real estate. I appreciate you joining me today, whether live or on the replay. And if you are watching live, please say hello. This is a live show, so let's try to engage a little bit. Let's connect. This isn't just a show. It's the start of a growing community. Together, we can build a space where like-minded individuals can connect, learn, and grow personally and professionally. What's next in your personal or professional journey? Comment below, and let's kick this journey off together. Hello, I'm Jason Harris, and I'm unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston, but maybe not this far south. Also known as Coach FitPro J, your diet-free fat loss specialist. I'm the coach who talks the talk and walks the walk. I've been there, done that, and now I empower real estate professionals and entrepreneurs to take control of their nutrition and fitness without feeling overwhelmed by keeping it simple, keeping it moving, and keeping it real. Welcome to the weekly live broadcast, Keeping It Real. All right, today I need to do something with that intro. I'll figure it out. We'll start with From Stagefright to Spotlight today, the public speaking segment of the show. Then after that, we'll get into the core 4 of networking segment. Then we'll get into fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. Then we'll finish up with the Real Estate Roundup segment. Let's get started. All right. From Stagefright to Spotlight, our comprehensive public speaking segment of the show designed to help you master this crucial skill. Whether you're speaking to a large audience or in front of a small group, this segment of the show will give you the tools you need to shed the stage fright and step confidently into the spotlight. All right. This segment of the show will also have guest appearances from some of my fellow Toastmasters. And if you don't know what Toastmasters is, I'm going to tell you right now. Toastmasters International is a nonprofit educational organization that teaches public speaking and leadership skills through a worldwide network of clubs. I happen to belong to the Spirited Speakers Club out of Middleborough, Massachusetts, and we currently meet virtually on the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of every month. Stay tuned, because at the end of this segment, I'll show you how you can visit my next virtual Toastmaster meeting, so stay tuned for that. Public speaking. Just the mention of it is enough to send shivers down some spines. Believe it or not, it consistently ranks as a fear more intense than death itself. But what if I said there's a place where that fear doesn't just fade, it transforms, where you don't just survive the spotlight, you thrive in it. Welcome to the Toastmasters Edge. On tonight's From Stagefright to Spotlight segment, I have a powerhouse panel joining us, the Fab Four, the leadership team of Toastmasters District 31. We're diving into why joining Toastmasters could be one of the best decisions you make for your personal and professional growth. Whether you're on the fence about joining, wondering what unexpected skills you'll gain, or just curious about what happens in a meeting, we got you covered. Let's break it all down. Please stand by. So I have some questions about why would you join Toastmasters? If someone is on the fence about joining, what's one skill or experience they'll gain outside of confidence, right? That will surprise them I think we talked about some already. It's okay to bring it up again, but if someone is on the fence about joining, what's one skill or experience they'll gain that will surprise them?
I will say, if they're scared to join Toastmasters, they should. They shouldn't be, but they should come because they will come out of their comfort zone. I know for me, that helped me come out of my comfort zone, and taking on these leadership skills have truly helped me. And I wouldn't be where I am without this. So it's been the network for me. And I'm in a safe environment, and it's a positive place, and I love it. And I'm never leaving. So
I feel the same way. It's a life. Toastmasters, just like the gym and fitness and eating right and everything. It's a lifelong thing. It really is. And as time goes by, you just get better and better. It's awesome. It's awesome. And then you get to help other people out, which is also a great feeling. So does anybody have anything to say about to people that are on the fence about joining Toastmasters? What's one skill or experience that they'll gain that might surprise them?
We've spoken about speaking, we've spoken about writing skills, but one skill that goes under the radar is the ability to listen. Toastmaster Jason, as leaders, we become more empathetic leaders by active listening. And we seek to understand rather than to be understood. That's the first quality of leadership. From the club to the area to the division to the district, if someone were to ask me, Veera, what really changed in leadership is the ability to listen to your members. Each one has a different way to express their concerns or opinions. But as leaders, we really have to understand what they're trying to say. There may be some passion, there may be some excitement, but there would be an underlying concern that would really benefit us as leaders. And that's a data point that is worth taking. So the listening skill and then the problem or the challenge is easy to solve. Toastmaster Jason.
We lost you for a second, Vera. Where did we lose him? Let's see. I could just edit this part quick out. You were talking about, I'm trying to think of what you were
I was talking
mid-sentence.
about the misconception of listening skills. People come to Toastmasters not knowing that they can also improve their listening skills. And as a leader, one thing that I've developed from the club to area to division to district is to be an empathetic leader, someone who can listen more, seek to understand. And then once I understand, it is easy to solve any challenge that they have. But the listening skills is something which we don't advertise, but something members will feel excited about when they join Toastmasters.
Man, I can't believe I didn't even think of that. And I talk about it all the time. And that's part of my networking segment of this show. Show up, the core four of networking: show up, be yourself, pay attention, and follow up. The pay attention, I always talk about active listening. And I've talked about how Toastmasters helps out. There's a listener role within the club. And that helps me when I'm writing notes, when I'm in a business meeting with somebody on Zoom or in person, or just to take notes and be able to actively listen and pay attention to what's going on. And it helps out when I'm with a prospect in fitness, or whether that's in commercial real estate. I'm sitting there taking notes, and the listener role in Toastmasters has helped me out immensely. And that was a surprise. The leadership was a surprise to me. And well, I'm at it. I knew the networking was going to kind of be, I didn't know the networking was going to be so prolific. It really is. Because you have, again, the club level, district level, even beyond that. It's an international organization, right? But anyhow, no, thank you for that, Vera. The listening part, I didn't even think about that. So you kind of surprised me real quick. Christian, do you have anything to say about anything that would surprise somebody, like a skill that they would acquire when they join Toastmasters?
Jason, I like this question because it got me to reflect on what I might think was surprising if somebody told me about Toastmasters, that they would gain this experience. And what I would have to say is clarity in thinking. Now, why is that? When I have to give a speech on the fly in our table topics session, impromptu speaking, it teaches me and all members who join or guests who are participating in table topics, we have the rule of three. We can go by that. Pick out 3 things you want to say and then figure out how to logically connect them with transitions. It gets you thinking that way over and over again, so that, as Vera said, when he was a new member, he was overcome by fear and all he could think about is those thoughts would go out of his mind. He just has to speak. There was no clarity in speaking. By practicing this over and over again, you come up with a structure in your mind of how you want to deliver your points to the audience and make them logically connect. And that not only benefits you in impromptu speaking, it helps you in speech writing. If you're thinking about, I need to give a speech, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, think about those points you want to make and how you're going to transition between them. And it's helped me in not only writing speeches, but just writing in general. So clarity in thinking, Jason, is something I would say that Toastmasters helps everyone who joins and participates in the Toastmasters meeting. That is probably surprising, because if somebody told me that I would gain that out of Toastmasters, I wouldn't understand why.
Wow, no, that's awesome. There's a lot of surprise skills and a lot of unexpected benefits of being participating in Toastmasters. There really is. All of these are good. So does anybody else have any surprise skills that they can think of? I mean, we've already had a ton.
I would say feedback. We have that we have that third portion of the meeting, right? The feedback portion or the evaluation portion of the meeting. I personally think that that feedback is good. You get to listen, which we talked about, listening to the member. But in addition, as a result, you take those words they say or whatever it is that they're talking about, or their speech, right? You're watching their speech, you're observing their speech, you're doing some observation. You take some notes along the way, jot down notes on what you see, observe, hear. You use that feedback to give them the evaluation, to give them the feedback on what they need to do better, but in addition, things that they did well. And I think it surprised me because I am able to apply it to what I do at work. My first time I had to do a performance review with an employee of mine, I had no guidance. They now have the guidance out there, but my first time I had no guidance. I didn't know what to do. I sat down at my desk probably 15 minutes prior to this meeting with him, and I said, all right, here's the sandwich method. The sandwich method. One good thing, one negative, and another positive, because that's what we do with our evaluations, right? We do the sandwich method. So, or the cookie method, however you want to do it. I basically said, what's in the meat of the sandwich that needs for improvement? And then what's the bread? What's the things that they did really well? And it surprised me because I went in, I was scared. It was my first time, but I took a breath, met with my employee, and it went well because we had that positive discussion back and forth. And I was able to give the 2 positives and a negative for future feedback on for them to better themselves. So feedback is one of the things, or evaluations, however you look at it.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either, like the feedback to be so structured. And by it being so structured, it not only helps the individual that's receiving the feedback, but the person that's actually giving the feedback. What ends up happening is that sharpens your skills too. The evaluator, it helps them out. So when they go to do a speech again, because they've seen other people doing speech and they evaluate them, it helps themselves out as well. That's what I found anyway. And I could speak to one of the surprises, I guess, that surprised me as far as the skills. It was table topics. I didn't know there was such a thing. And when it first came out, luckily they didn't have the wheel where they just pick somebody. They're actually asking for volunteers, but it took me a while. But ever since I forget how long it's been now, but I said, no, every single time I'm in a meeting, I'm going to do a table topics, like on purpose, force myself to, you know what I mean? And I found that it really does help you out in real life. It's crazy. It's like every single meeting I've done it. And then I catch myself outside of the meeting when I have to like kind of impromptu speak. And it's like, wow, you know, it is just like, you know, you got to do the reps and get the experience, and it carries over into real life. It just, all this stuff does. It's awesome. The leadership, the communication, the education, everything. So this is awesome. All right. So let's see. Let's move on to the next question. Unless anyone has anything else to add on that. No. All right. So public speaking is often listed as a bigger fear than death. So if Toastmasters were a superhero, what would its superpower be? Who wants to take that one? I can answer, but I want someone else to take it.
The technique that we use at Toastmasters, so Jason, is experiential learning, and then the ability to systematically desensitize public speaking. So when someone comes to Toastmasters, it could be the biggest fear, but by the end of 6 months or 6 years, they slowly but surely get rid of that fear. They still have it, but they learn techniques to overcome that. What we use is systematic desensitization of that fear, and they will definitely become better persons of what they are, but it is experiential learning and self-paced learning. So these would be the two superpowers that really help us, cut down the fear and make it into a strength. Public speaking, transform into a strength from something which you thought it was not your strength to becoming a strength. That's life transforming experience to Smart Jason.
No, that's awesome. And it, like we all were talking about, it transfers over into real life. So you would say that the superpower of Toastmaster would, if Toastmaster was a superhero, the superpower would be to extinguish fear, and it just extinguishes fear and makes you feel comfortable and confident. That's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody else?
Oh, I'll go, Jen. I saw you on mute. I would say invincibility, but that's overselling here. We said before, we're not perfect. We're not invincible. Jason, adaptability would be my superhero power that I get from Toastmasters. We talked about table topics. You don't know what the topic's going to be, but you have to give an answer. You have to adapt to anything that somebody asks you. Think about anytime you're out in public, anytime you're in a team meeting, people are going to ask you questions and you don't know exactly what that question's going to be. You have to adapt to that question, give an answer, and do it quickly on the fly, being able to adapt. The leadership aspect of Toastmasters, you're dealing with a very heterogeneous group of people. People are very different that you deal with amongst Toastmasters Club and the district in general. You have to learn how to adapt and communicate with different people that are going to be part of your district, part of your club, anyone in general that you're interacting with. How do they communicate with you? How are you getting your message across to them? Adapt, learn how they communicate, learn how to build rapport with them. And it all comes down to learning how to adapt your skills, your way of communicating, your way of speaking to the other person. Clear channel of communication, Jason.
No, I love that adaptability. That's a interesting way to put that, or perspective. I love that. That would be a cool superpower. Bethany, Jen?
Yeah, so I would say a superpower is the reduction of ahs and ums, using appropriate pauses, and listening. Listening, because not only do you reduce your ahs and ums, use effective pauses, but now you're listening to other people saying ahs and ums, and you're the one counting ahs and ums of those that are around you. I came out of a Toastmasters meeting the other day at work, and all I know was that one of my coworkers was walking behind me, and she was telling me about how she counts at meetings how one of our leaders or managers uses a lot of ahs and ums. And I was thinking during our staff meeting later that day, I go, oh, I wonder if she's counting because our manager just used about 5 ums. So superpower, I would say, is reducing ahs and ums, but also listening to other people use the words ahs and ums.
That's great. Those filler words, ever since joining Toastmasters and having the grammarian counter as part of one of the club roles that count the ahs, ums, and filler words when people are speaking throughout the meeting, I've noticed at networking events when other people speak, give their 60 seconds, or just in general, even on TV, watching TV, and I'm sitting there like, wow, look at all these ums and ahs and filler words I'm hearing. Like, oh my God, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me now, you know? Like, but I've noticed quite a bit now that after joining Toastmasters, and I've also noticed the reduction, as Jen was talking about, of the ahs and ums and filler words. So it's definitely helped out big time with that. How about you, Bethany? What would a superpower be?
My superpower would be I bring in my yoga to my before I give my speeches. I always go back to my breath and to take a deep breath before I get up there and give my speeches, and then I'm ready to go. So I bring that in, and then especially with the postures too, always making sure I'm standing correctly. Like in yoga, they talk about the posture. So that's how I bring in my superpower, and just being that no one's judging. Like in yoga, no one's judging you either. It's a positive place, and it's a comfortable place as well to be.
No, that's right. That's awesome. Those are all awesome superpowers, and there's probably a few more too. But I mean, there's so much that Toastmasters brings, which brings me to my next question. You know, how can a non-member see a meeting in action? I mean, after the segment here, at the tail end of this segment, I'm going to end up letting you know how you can get involved and hop on one of my virtual meetings. But there's other ways to a non-member can see a meeting in action. You guys want to take that?
If you're free the first or the third Thursdays of every month, come to Minutemen Toastmasters of Waltham. We meet from 7 to 8:30 in the evening. We'll be happy to have you. We'll meet at the Meadow Green Nursing Home. To be inclusive, we also have the Zoom access, so you can join us virtually. We would love to have you in person, but first and the third Thursdays of every month in Waltham.
Awesome. Thank you, Vera.
So
Well-
also, you can come visit Rhode Island Active Toastmasters. We meet on the first and third Mondays from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And we meet at a beautiful location, New England Tech, and we have an amazing group. So come check us out. We'll welcome you with open arms.
Are you virtual as well, or just in
We
person?
are not. We're just in person.
Okay.
We have the live aspect.
Awesome.
And if you want to attend a hybrid club, come join Mill City Toastmasters. We meet first and third Wednesdays hybrid at the Beehive Corporation in Tingsboro, Massachusetts from 7 to 8. But if you just want virtual, that's okay. We do that for the second and fourth and fifth Wednesdays of the month, 7 to 8 also. If you want to come, that's how you can join us, Mill City Toastmasters. Or I do need to say, if none of these clubs work for you, go to toastmasters.org and you can click on Find a Club, put in your zip code. There's a bunch of search options that are available to you if you don't like any of these options. We hope that you like one of these options, but if not, do that.
Thanks, Jen. That's right. Just go to toastmasters.org and search for a club near you. They're all over the place. Go ahead, Christian.
I'd like to invite everyone to my club. We have what's called corporate clubs or closed clubs in the district that are only open to employees. That's my home club. I would love to have all of you come to it, but they don't allow that within the company. To Jen's point, though, search online, search for your town Toastmasters, and you will come up with hits for Find a Club, as Jen said. Enter your information in there, your location. You can enter your location. If you want a local club that you attend in person, it will send the club your contact information and they will reach out to you. So that's a good way to find a local club. There's also club websites. If you do a search, you'll go to their website. There's a contact us in there. You can click on that and get more information on how to join a meeting. And for anyone who is not new to Toastmasters, if you've already earned your educational requirements, level 1 and level 2 in our Pathways educational system, I invite you on the second Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. to come join an advanced club meeting, the Advanced Articulators of Andover. It is not in Andover. It used to be, but we're all virtual now. You don't have to be in the location. Go to our district31.org website, search for advanced clubs, and there is a link to our meeting, or just do the Google search, as I said, Advanced Articulators of Andover, and you'll find our homepage, Jason.
Awesome. Thank you, Christian. And if anybody wants any further information, just contact me and I'll get you in touch with any of the Fab Four or whoever you need to do so. And does anyone have anything else they'd like to share before we end this segment of From Stagefright to Spotlight? Anything?
I'll say, for my experience, if you're listening to this and you're saying to yourself, as I did many, many years ago, Toastmasters is probably the last place I want to go to because I do not want to get in front of people and speak. That is the reason why you need to come join a Toastmasters meeting. Everybody is welcome. You don't need to be a member. Any of those clubs, do a search in your area, virtual or in person. Come as a guest and see what Toastmasters Experiential Learning Program is all about to get over that fear, so you're not saying, I don't want to get in front of anyone in public speaking.
Yeah, excellent advice. Excellent. It's like anything, every time I don't want to go work out to the gym, because let me tell you, working out it's a grind, man. I don't like to go to the gym only when I'm working on my mental, but it's a grind. No one wants to go to the gym, but when I do end up going, I'm happy that I did. So that's what happens with Toastmasters too, and you get stronger and everything else about it too. All right. So the Fab Four, ladies and gentlemen, Bethany, Christian, Vera, Jen, thank you for sharing your wisdom, your stories, and your humor with us today. I'm looking forward to having you all back on to talk about District 31's Communication and Leadership Conference 2025. Again, CLCon, we're going to talk about that in the next one, but CLCon 25 is a 3-day conference from May 2nd to May 4th on leadership and communication and all the other great stuff that we talked about here about Toastmasters. Our theme this year happens to be the power of you through persistent imagination to promote personal growth and leadership development and explore how individuals can tap into their latent potential and remove barriers that limit their performance, because that is Toastmasters' true superpower, for real. All right, guys, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you the next time. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Next week, we're going to have all about CLCon, which is happening the first week of May. So stay tuned for that. So whether you're looking to sharpen your communication skills, build confidence, or tap into the hidden superpower of Toastmasters, there's no better way to see the magic in action than by attending a meeting yourself. If today's conversation sparked your curiosity, take the next step. Get involved in Toastmasters. Speaking of taking the next step, my next virtual Toastmaster meeting is coming up. The next meeting will be next Wednesday, April 23rd from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want to experience a virtual meeting and see what it's all about, comment Spirited and I will send you the link. Don't miss out. Again, comment Spirited and I'll share the meeting link with you. When you log into the meeting, don't be scared. Feel free to sit back and observe and take it all in from the sidelines. We'll make you feel welcome, but participation is optional. No pressure, just relax and enjoy the experience. Hope to see you there. Moving on. Next up is the core 4 of networking. Networking is an essential skill in both business and personal development. In the Core 4 of Networking segment, I break down the key practices for building strong, lasting relationships. Do you know about the Core 4? Do you even network? Can you tell me what the Core 4 of networking are? Here's a short clip that'll get you up to speed on the Core 4 of networking. Check this out. What's up? I'm here with Al to give you guys another networking tip. We've given you 3 so far, and today we're going to give you a 4th. But before we do, let's recap. What's the first thing they got to do, Al?
Show up.
You got to be present and accounted for. What's the second thing?
Be yourself.
You be you, your authentic self, because nobody likes fake people. Not a good look. What's number 3?
Pay attention.
You got to do some active listening. You got to know what's going on. You don't want to stare into somebody's eyes and nod your head thinking about what you got to say next. Pay attention. And now that the recap's done, I think the 4th one's the most important. What do you think, Al?
Oh yeah, there's no point in doing all 3 if you don't do the 4th.
That's right. So why is the 4th so important now?
Because the fortune's in the FU.
What do you mean?
Fortune's in the follow-up.
Ah, that's right. Follow up. Don't have a conversation with somebody, take their business card, and then do nothing. Follow up. Speaking of following up, if you guys would like to hear more networking tips from Al and myself, comment more or yes, please underneath this video. And Al, what are we going to do after they make that comment?
Follow up.
Haha, that's right. See you guys later. All right, let me bring this back up. I'll be breaking down the Core 4 1 week at a time. Week 1, show up. Why simply being present can open doors to success. Week 2, be yourself. Authenticity is the key to forming genuine connections. Week 3, pay attention. The importance of active listening and being fully engaged with others. Week 4 is all about follow-up. How to maintain and grow relationships beyond the first meeting. All right. What's the most significant networking hurdle that you have faced? And how did you tackle it? Or are you still working on it? Let us know. Please share your biggest networking challenges and how you've addressed them in the comments below, or if you're still working on it. I'd love to help you. In addition to exploring the Core 4 of networking that you see over here, let me get rid of that. In addition to that, this segment will also showcase local members of the networking organizations that I'm affiliated with, as well as other businesses and professionals in my network. I'll also provide insights on local networking events that I attend. Today, Al and I are going to talk about the second of the Core 4 of networking. What's that, you ask? Check out this short clip. What's up, everybody? I'm here with Al at another Cranberry Country Chamber of Commerce event, Coffee and Collaborations. We're here with another networking tip for you. And if you guys forgot the last networking tip we had for you, it was...
Just show up.
Just show up. And today's networking tip for you guys is be authentic. Because being fake is frowned upon and being authentic is appreciated. So...
Just be you.
Just be you. We'll see you guys at the next networking event.
That's good.
All right, let's go ahead. Let me get rid of this. Let's go ahead and bring Al up from backstage and talk about showing up and being yourself as it pertains to networking. Let's get into it. All right. Hello, Al. How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Jace?
Awesome. Awesome. Again, could you please remind the audience of who you are and what you do?
Sure. Yeah. My name is Albert Moy. I'm a financial advisor with Edward Jones. I specialize in retirement planning, estate planning, tax strategies, as well as wealth protection.
Awesome. Thanks, Al. Let's talk about showing up and being yourself. Well, you got to show up in order to be yourself, right? So let's talk about being yourself. So I have a couple of talking points here. We'll go through them. Authenticity builds genuine connections. People can sense when someone is genuine. By being yourself, you attract others who resonate with your personality and values, leading to more meaningful and lasting connections. You in the audience, can you tell when someone's being authentic? I know I can. Let us know in the comments if you've experienced that. Al, what do you think about authenticity and building connections?
Oh yeah, I think that is it's almost like in anything, networking is also building trust. When you build that relationship, you're here to build trust as well. So if I meet you for the first time and then I come up with an elaborate story, unless it's really truthful, you're gonna say, oh, you know what, you're full of it. I don't know if I can believe you. If you're just not being yourself, a lot of times people can tell right away that you're here to just hype yourself up, tell a story that is probably not even true. So how can I even move on to say to build that relationship? It's just like any relationship. You're in a relationship, and all you do is have mistrust with one another. You're not going to have that relationship. So just be truthful, be yourself.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And the other thought I have on that too is, if you're not being authentic or genuine, and I smell it, like it's pretty easy to smell. I mean, I'm not going to want to refer you or introduce you to anybody in my network because you're like a loose cannon. Like I value my relationships with people. So if you're not being authentic with me, I'm going to have a problem referring you out or introducing you to someone in my network, because then that's going to negatively affect my network. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to do that. So, that's why being authentic and being genuine when you come across, when you talk to people and when you're networking, when you're meeting people, is so important. You got to keep that in your mind. I mean, think about it. If someone's not being genuine to you and yourself, are you really going to introduce me or, to anybody in your network? Seriously. But anyhow,
Yeah. Yeah.
go ahead, Al.
Yeah, one of the things that I find it is, once you are authentic, you be yourself. There's no you know everything about yourself. You know what to how you want to express to people how about you. You can tell about your stories. You can tell about yourself. And if you make up that story, guess what? And then you might meet the same person maybe 3 months or a year from now, and then you're gonna say, "Oh, remember that story?" And then your story changes. Where a lot of times it's not because it's not a true story, then people can tell you right away.
Yeah, it's like it almost, you got to create more work for yourself. It's like you got to remember what lies you're told or what
Right.
fiction you have told.
Right.
So no, be yourself. Another thing, confidence comes from authenticity. You're kind of speaking to that for a second, Al, right? When you're genuine, you naturally exude confidence. Just like when you're ingenuine, you kind of exude BS, right? So, trying to maintain a front can be exhausting, like we just talked about. But being yourself helps you stay relaxed and confident because like you just said, Al, you know yourself. You don't have to change anything or remember anything. This energy is actually appealing and it makes others feel comfortable around you when that happens. Al, do you have anything to say on the subject of confidence and authenticity?
I mean, confidence is, it for a lot of people, it takes time. You can't just say be confident. Um, and it's a thing that you have to truly, when you build up confidence is to be able to walk up to someone, and you can say and be able to answer their questions, but then also that you feel confident about yourself, that uh, about your approach. So a lot of time, in the beginning, people just needs to practice. Like practice on your 60 seconds pitch, the elevator pitch. Practice on what do you want to say to someone, and it's not just coming up on the fly, but a lot of times it's you want to rehearse, and every time you meet someone, then you always want to go home, do some homework later on, say, this is what I did wrong. Maybe next time I'm going to do it this way. I mean, it's always a learning, a moment to learn. Is not, you never stop learning. Every time you go to you meet someone, and you always want to, change some of your strategies. Say, well, this is what I'm doing wrong, or why am I doing that wrong? So to have confidence, then eventually you're going to say, you know what, I've done everything right. So I know this is the right way to do it. And that's how to become more confident.
No, that's an awesome thing you brought up, Al, as far as preparing a little bit. There's nothing wrong with preparing. You're preparing, but you're being authentic. And there's nothing wrong with that. I look at it as when you're preparing for something like that and strategies and what to say, all you're really doing is you're not trying to um, persuade or influence somebody or sway someone from something. You're being authentic, and you're just finding a better way to communicate that clearer to the person, so you're just
Right.
trying to so you can articulate it the best way that you're able to, is all. So there's nothing wrong with prep at all, nothing at all. And
Right.
that's how you become confident, like you said, Al, right? You know the material, you know what you're trying to say, but that prep gives you better clarity in your communication when it comes to it.
Right.
Awesome. All right, so another talking point is about sharing personal stories and experiences. Opening up about your own journey, successes, challenges, and lessons learned. It helps people relate to you. Personal stories make you memorable and approachable, building trust and rapport faster than any polished elevator pitches alone. I open up and share stories and experiences whenever I can, so that others don't make the same mistakes that I have. I'm paying it forward. It's actually one of my favorite ways to show up and bring value, because I know, we were talking about showing up, about bringing value when you show up. And this is one of my favorite ways to do that, is to help people out so they don't make the same mistakes that I have. You know, what about you in the audience? Do you share personal stories and experiences when you show up to networking events? Maybe that's a good way that you could bring value for yourself. You never know. Drop a comment and let us know. Al, what's your experience with this?
Yeah, I
What's
mean,
your
a lot of
experience?
times is especially with fellow new advisors that are out there. We always say, what, so how are you doing it out there? What strategies are you using? So I would ask them, say, but what's working, what's not working? So they would say, well, this is what I do, this is what I try to do, and then I would give them some tips. I say, so next time, instead of doing that, maybe try it this way. A lot of time is when you're out there networking, it's not just about, like I said, it's not about selling your products, not about anything. There's a lot of time about sharing ideas. You're there to share ideas. You're there to, and this is where you build that relationship. A lot of time, I'm not here to sell you something. I'm here to say, I'm here to help you work on your strategy to help your business. And then of course, then once you try one of my strategies, and then what, that worked. Let's any more? Do you have any more? So it's like people just want to say, hey, you know what? Let's get together. I want to talk more. A lot of time is, you just have to get someone that was, I would say, who wants to get to know you. That's what thing.
No, that's a great point too, Al. If you share your own stories and experiences, and I found this myself, and I like to find out what things look like that I'm involved in through the lens of other people, or even about my own self through the lens of other people, because we see ourselves differently, right? So when I'm sharing an experience or story with somebody, that it may benefit me too, because they may be seeing something through their lens, looking through the situation or story or experience that I had, and they may come up with something that I'm not even thinking of. That's happened a few times, and it's helped me out quite a bit. So if you're quiet and you just don't say anything, then it's not going to happen. So tell those
Right,
stories
right.
and
I mean, a lot
experiences.
about, I'll ask someone who's an expert, like yourself, in social media. I'm gonna say, so what are you doing in social media that you're able to grab someone's attention to be able to do this? Because I'm only utilizing networking, cold calling, or what have you, and it's always to just find a different strategy. If someone is using it and is being successful at it, why not ask them? Say, what are you doing that's different that maybe I can learn from you? You know, and I'm sure people are more than willing to share, and then vice versa.
Well, that's one of the things I do in my fitness business is I share different techniques and information about action steps that work, and then people do it and they see it works, and then they want more. That's how that works too. It kind of helps you build a little bit of trust too. Oh, awesome. All right, speaking of building trust, you can build trust by being transparent. All right, transparency about your intentions and goals in networking is actually refreshing. Don't be afraid to share openly about your aspirations or and challenges, like we just talked about. You can get something out of it too. It shows humility and authenticity, which is what we're trying to do. That can help build trust with others. When people sense you're honest about your goals and not just working the room, guess what? They're more likely to trust you and feel comfortable reciprocating with their own intentions. Al, what advice would you give someone who feels nervous about sharing their aspirations or struggles in a networking setting?
Well, I mean, they don't have to share right away. They can just say, okay, well, I'm trying a few things. They can say, I'm trying a few things. Haven't really, you can say, I start using one thing all the time, and then they would reverse the question, and ask someone, and say, instead of them say, well, you tell me how, how have you're very successful. How did you do it? Maybe you can tell me, and then maybe I can start. A lot of time is when you're in a conversation with someone. Like I always say, listen to people. Always listen, but don't. And there's too many people who wants to hear themselves talk. And of course, I was like that, and just talk my head out. And somebody say, oh my God, that's like 10 minutes I can't get back. But a lot of time is if you're unsure. And not someone trying to test you and say, "Oh, I bet you, I want to see if your the way you do things is better than mine." No, they're just asking a simple question. A lot of times you can change that around and say, "Well, you know what? I'm not quite sure what I'm trying a few things, but maybe you can tell me, what do you do? That you're so successful at. Maybe I can learn a little bit. Give me some tips." And that way you throw that. You say, "Oh, I may not be too confident now, but I can hear someone who's telling me, and then learn from that. How did he show? How he's going to tell you what he does as being, as a strategy, and how he works out, and then you can start taking what he said and do it for yourself."
That is an awesome strategy, Al. So just kind of put them in that situation and see how they react, and then take notes and then follow suit. I love it. Right. Thanks for that, Al. Awesome. All right. So the other thing I have here is for a talking point, don't feel pressured to fit a mold. There is no such thing as the ideal networker. True value comes from individuality, and we're our own individuals, right? So embrace what makes you unique rather than trying to fit a specific mold or persona. People remember those who stand out naturally. You in the audience, how do you show up as your authentic self when it comes to networking? Drop a comment and let us know. Okay, so as far as me and how I do it, I market myself as, when I introduce myself at a networking event, or when I stand up to give my 60 seconds elevator pitch, I always introduce myself, my brand. I'm unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston, and that makes me memorable. The reason I came up with that is, well, I first started going to all these networking events, and I found a pattern or a commonality that happened. I'll be at a networking event and I'm standing there. Someone always either says, "Oh, this guy works out," or "You work out," or "How much do you bench?" or "Look at this guy's arms," or "Why you stand like that?" or "How's your posture so good?" or that sort of thing. So I just kind of ran with it. And hey, I made myself unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional. Unofficially the fittest commercial real estate professional south of Boston. So that's how I show up as my authentic self. And if anybody asks me questions about fitness, I'm game. So I always help out with that and bring value in that arena as well. So, okay, Al, how do you show up as your authentic self when it comes to networking?
Well, a lot of time is, I try, everyone know what a financial advisor, what they do and so forth. So I don't go into all the details, right? And and if they want to talk more, I say, listen, one thing I am different from others is, my thing is, I said, if you're interviewing a financial advisor, I would say go interview 4 others before you come to me. Ask them the same questions, and I can guarantee you my answers can be different.
Awesome. Talk about authentic.
Because a lot of time is, yeah. I mean, a lot of time is I do things holistically, and I that's where my value is because I'm able here to, I'm not just here to, take your accounts or what have you and tell you what product you should be in or not, and I'm just here to sell a product. I'm not, I need to understand you, so that's what a lot of time that's what makes me different than the other people, because I like to make sure or care about everything about aspects of your life rather than just your money. So,
and you know what, that's brilliant, Al, because the all you have to do is send them out to the sea of other financial advisors out there, right? They're not all created equal, like real estate agents and other professions, right? So you say, okay, because you know how bad it is out there, Al. I know you do. So you send them out there because you know what they're gonna get, and then when they come to you, you know what value you bring. You know what's up with you. So that's a brilliant strategy. Awesome. That's working the actual environment and how it is to your advantage. That's brilliant. Awesome. I thought mine was brilliant, but I don't know, Al. You might got me on that one. All right. Let's see here. That's all I've got for talking points for this segment for this evening for being yourself. It's pretty exclamatory, though. I mean, what about you, Al? Do you have anything else to add?
No, I think that's about it. It's just like you said, be transparent. With if somebody asks you, how much this costs, how much that costs, don't give them a fake number. Don't tell them, whatever products, whatever services you do, just tell them what the services is. And a lot of times, if they say, well, what's the cost? Don't try to hide away or try to say in a way that that you sound cheap. Like, you're not cheap. This is your value, right? This is what values you differently is, a lot of time is, hey, I'm transparent about how much my fees cost and what everything costs, is because, you get what you pay for, right? So a lot of time is, if you want great service, you want things that you can say, the up and up, white glove service, hey, then that's what you pay for. If you want crappy service, yeah, you pay for crappy service. And that's all I can say. Just be transparent. People, yeah.
No, people appreciate that in all directions. But yeah, you do
right, because a lot of times if you lie to them in the beginning, later on when you say, well, actually my real fees are here, this is how much things really cost, and then they're gonna say, you just lied to me. I can't trust you anymore. If you're upfront with someone and you like you said, being transparency, you're transparent with what you do, people will say, okay, they can decide right there, whether they like it or not. But then eventually, if they go to someone and the minute that person lied to them, say, you know what, I'm going with this person. He's more truthful,
Oh, it makes a big difference, and especially at the beginning of the relationship. I mean, geez, people are supposed to be on their best behavior. I mean,
that's like going on a date and you're cheating, right, in the first time.
Yeah. Why are you gonna do that? And the truth is eventually gonna come out. I mean, why hide? So,
Right.
all right, next Monday is week 3, so we'll be talking about paying attention, the importance of active listening, and being fully engaged with others. If you'd like to be a guest on this show to discuss your story in more depth, or your story at all, please get in touch. I'd be happy to have you. Al, what's the best way for someone in the audience to connect with you?
Sure. Yeah, they can either give me a call on my work number. My office is 508-697-5389, or they can shoot me an email at albert.moy, that's MUI, at edwardjones.com.
Awesome. Thanks for joining me tonight, Al, and look for Al on future episodes. I'm going to go ahead and put you backstage and continue on. I appreciate you, Al. All right. A lot of good tidbits in that one. And that wraps up our conversation today on authenticity in networking, a core principle that really makes the difference when it comes to building real, lasting relationships. I want to thank Al again for hanging out and sharing his valuable insights. Always great to hear his perspective. He's a veteran. To everyone watching, we want to hear from you. How do you show up as your authentic self in networking settings? Say that 5 times fast. Drop a comment, share a story. We're here for it. Next Monday, we're diving into week 3. Pay attention. We'll be talking about the power of listening and being fully engaged in conversations, because the best connections are great listeners. The best connectors are great listeners. If you got a story to share and want to be a guest on the show, reach out. I'd love to have you on. Always looking for guests. Seriously, let's do this. And if you catch me at a networking event, don't hesitate to pull me aside and let's make some on-camera magic happen. All right, moving on. Next up is fitness success, the 4 pillars of achievement. Each week, I alone or with a guest will break down a specific pillar to help you build a balanced, sustainable fitness routine. Week 1, Pillar 1, nutrition habits. Master your nutrition and fuel your body for success. Week 2, Pillar 2, practical strategies for managing life's inevitable stressors. That's where we're at today. Week 3, Pillar 3, physical activity, tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. And then week 4, Pillar 4, recovery measures. Recovery is key. Learn the best ways to rest, recharge, and avoid burnout both in and out of the gym. Today, we're diving into Pillar 2, stress management. Practical strategies for managing life's inevitable stressors. Because let's be real, life is not slowing down anytime soon. And when life gets busy, chaotic, or downright overwhelming, one of the first things to slip are fitness and nutrition habits, right? So today, I'm walking you through five practical ways to stay consistent with your fitness, even when life stress levels are up. Because managing stress isn't just about deep breaths and meditation, although those things help. It's also about keeping your healthy routines on track without stressing more about being perfect. I'll be sharing some quick strategies I've been using. Let's talk real life fitness consistency and how it ties directly to your stress management toolbox. Okay, so let's get into it. Stand by. We do get into 5 ways how to be more consistent with your fitness. I'd like to ask you, are you being consistent with your fitness? Are you being consistent with your fitness? Go ahead and put in the comments section and let me know if you're being consistent with your fitness. And being consistent with your fitness, that could be on the nutrition side of things, and that can be on the physical activity side of things, because that's fitness. Fitness is both, okay? I've been consistent pretty much with my fitness in regards to working out. 4 days of weight training, 1 day of cardio, and 1 day outside, which is gardening right now since it's nice out. So I've been pretty consistent with that. And I've also been semi-consistent with my nutrition, because during the summertime, I take a little bit of a break. But I have been hitting my protein intake goals, and also, which is just over 200 grams for the day. And then I limit sweets to on the weekends instead. Okay, so that's pretty much what I've been doing with my fitness. So are you being consistent with your fitness? That's what I would like to know. All right, so I'm going to get into 5 ways how to be more consistent with your fitness. The first thing that I wanted to mention, though, about that is you don't have to be perfect to make progress. There is no need to be 100% perfect to make progress. That's on the nutrition side of things and also on the physical activity side of things. We'll get a little bit more into that on number 4 of the 5 ways to be more consistent with your fitness. Let's get into number 1 now. The 5 ways to be more consistent with your fitness. Make only one change at a time. Make only one change at a time, okay? An example of that, replace one meal, okay, on the nutrition side of things. Make one change at a time. Replace one meal with a less processed one. All right, for example, You can replace that drive-through breakfast sandwich with a smoothie that you make at home. Yeah, that's one change that you can do to eat less processed food. Another thing you can do is try to, when you go out to eat, try a more healthy option. Like Thai food is a good example. Thai food has a lot of veggies in it. Stay away from a lot of the heavy curries and stuff like that. But a lot of the veggies and rice. That would be better than having like Wendy's or Burger King or something like that, that's highly processed. The closer to whole food, the better. So you can make a better option for takeout food. Okay, so make only one change at a time. All right. Another thing you could do is if you need more veggies, okay, you can add a side salad to your lunch or to your dinner. That's how to get some more veggies into you. So whatever you would normally, get for your lunch or for your dinner, add salad to it. You know what I mean? That's going to add a bunch of veggies to your meal. Another thing you can do is try adding organic spinach to your smoothie. So if you do make smoothies, and you make smoothies, throw some spinach in there, some organic spinach in there. I say organic spinach because spinach is high up on the dirty dozen as far as pesticides and spray and stuff like that. You want to stay away from the regular spinach whenever at all possible. Buy organic spinach. But that's a way to add some veggies into your day, is to add organic spinach into your smoothie. You could add kale as well. Spinach tends to not change the taste of the smoothie as much as kale would. A little bit different texture too. So those are some examples of making one change at a time on the nutrition side of things. Now I want to talk about the physical activity side of things as far as making one change at a time. All right. One thing that you can do is park further away from the office or grocery store or wherever you're headed, wherever you go. Just park in the boondocks, to walk more. That will get you some more physical activity in. Just park further away. That's all. Nice, easy little change. It will go a long way over time. The other thing that you can do is take the stairs instead of the elevator whenever possible. So you see the elevator bank, you see the stairs, take the stairs. That's another little thing that you can do. All these things add up over time, big time. All right. Another thing you can do on the physical activity side of things, as far as making one change at a time, would be to do a 10-minute workout next to your bed after you get up in the morning. That way it's all done. You get up, maybe use the restroom real quick, and then just, get back in your bedroom, some push-ups, some sit-ups, maybe even some jumping jacks, jog in place, whatever. Take 10 minutes and do 10 minutes of physical activity next to your bed. And then you're done. You're done for the day. You've done physical activity. Anything you do extra is extra. Okay. That's a nice little change that you can do. It doesn't take much. Another thing you can do is drive straight to the gym. Okay, instead of going home after work. A lot of people, they go home after work. Guess what happens? They stay home. It's hard to get back out of the house, especially to go do some physical activity you really probably don't want to do. All right, so another change you can do is bring your gym clothes with you in your car, pack it, and then what you want to do is just drive straight to the gym and don't go home yet. Don't go home until your workout's done. All right, so that's another thing that you can do on the physical activity side of things to make one change at a time. That's number one. I don't see any comments coming. I want to know if you guys are actually consistent with your fitness or not. Type in the comments section. Even if you're watching this on the replay, I do interact with the comments after the broadcast is ended. Okay, so go ahead and type your comments in the comments section. Are you being consistent with your fitness? All right, now I'm going to get into number 2 on the 5 ways how to be consistent with your fitness. Okay, because that's what we're talking about tonight. Number 2, eat and exercise in a way that you enjoy. Okay, eat and exercise in the way that you enjoy. With a lot of clients, myself included, I like to experiment. I like to just try stuff, and see if it sticks, see if it works. There's no harm in trying. Okay, so on the nutrition side of things, what you might want to do to find food that you would enjoy is to maybe make one new healthy recipe a week, okay, at dinner. Make a new healthy recipe once a week at dinner. And then what you'll do is you'll build up a menu of healthy meals that you do enjoy. The only way to find out is to actually experiment and do it. Have that experience, okay? As a bonus, you could even cook bigger portions at dinner, okay? And then you can pack them for lunch. Then you did some food prep too. Experiment food prep, experiment food prep. So that's something that you can do. Okay, as far as the physical activity side of things, to exercise in a way that you enjoy, experiment again. Okay, mix it up and try different activities. Take a class, take a different class. Try some weight training if you haven't. It's very important for your metabolism. Just try different things, even activities outside, different physical activities. You can try running, try sports, try a competitive sport or just recreational sport. Try martial arts, karate and whatnot. Try dancing even, all these are fun activities. You don't even realize you're exercising, but at the end of it, you're like, wow, you're full of sweat and you're, get a good heart rate going. So at least make one change, okay, and do something. Experiment with the nutrition side of things or the physical activity side of things. Again, just mix it up and try different things in the kitchen and try different things as far as physical activity, and build up a list of foods, meals, or a menu, and also physical activities that you have tried and experimented with and enjoy, and just mix it up, man. Just at least make one change and do something, okay? All right, I'm going to take a look at this comment section before we get into number 3. If you're just joining us, we're on number 3 on 5 ways how to be more consistent with your fitness. All right, let's see what we got going on in the comment section. Helen, how's it going? Helen, I just met Helen today. Started a new program this week. Excellent, excellent, excellent. We'll have to chat about that. Excellent. All right, anybody else? Let me know. Are you being consistent with your fitness? Helen's just started a new program, and I'm sure she's going to be consistent with it. All right, so we're on number 3, if you're just joining us, of 5 ways how to be more consistent with your fitness. Number 3, plan ahead so that you're always prepared. Plan ahead so you're always prepared. An example of that would be making a double smoothie in the morning, because remember, you're going to make one small change at a time. Maybe one of those changes is, instead of taking a trip to the drive-thru and getting that processed breakfast sandwich, at home you make a smoothie. Well, take it a step further. Make a double portion. Make a double smoothie so that you have a late afternoon snack ready to go. That's, you making a smoothie anyway. Stock up on frozen berries and greens and freeze those ripe fruits. Freeze those ripe fruits. I don't know how many times I'll have a bunch of bananas and they're yellow, and then I go and buy some other bananas and they are green, and the yellow ones are pretty much almost gone, and then now I have green ones. If you have a bunch that's really ripe, all you have to do is, before they ripen too much, peel them, break them up into little pieces, and put them in the freezer for the smoothie. Same thing goes with any fruit. Freeze your fruit and you can use it for a smoothie. They'll be ready for another day. So let me get back. So number 3 on 5 ways to be more consistent about your fitness is to plan ahead so that you're always prepared. And again, make a double smoothie in the morning. That way you have another one ready to go. Okay. On the physical activity side of things, as far as planning ahead so you're always prepared, we talk about this for a little bit. Keep a packed gym bag, okay, in your car or by the front door. That way, you leave work, go straight to the gym before you get home, because that's the hardest thing to do, is come home and then get back out to go do physical activity. Okay, so keep a packed gym bag in your car by the front door. If you happen to come home and you have that bag at your front door, treat your house like the gym. You walk into the gym, see, I fooled myself already. Walk into the house after work. You have that bag by your door. Just pick it up and treat your closet or your walk-in closet or your bathroom like a locker room, and just change and then get that home workout done. Just get that home workout done. I mean, hey, if you don't have equipment at home, that's cool. You can do a lot of body weight stuff. If not, that's fine. Change and then just head to the gym. But either way, keep a packed gym bag in your car or at the front door. It'll help you out. That's number 3. Okay. Before I get to number 4, I want to look at some of these comments as well on this. And then again, if you're just joining us, I want to know, are you being consistent with your fitness? Let me know in the comments section, even if this is the replay. Are you being consistent with your fitness? Okay. I want to get into number 4. Number 4 is a biggie. Strive for perfection only 75 to 90% of the time. Again, strive for perfection only 75% to 90% of the time. This is where moderation meets consistency. Oh, do this in moderation. Do this in moderation. Well, I've defined moderation for you. That's 75 to 90% of the time. That's moderation. And I'll break it down even further on the nutrition side of things and on the physical activity side of things in just a second. So we have the moderation range equals 75 to 90%. And then consistency, well, you got to be consistent in order to get results. So being in that moderation range over time, that equals consistency. And guess what? That equals results. Okay. So let me give you some examples of what I mean here. Show you moderation and consistency. On the food side of things, say you eat 4 times a day for this example. You eat 4 times a day. There's 7 days in a week. That's 28 times that you're going to have a meal or a smoothie. Okay. 75% is 7. 10% is 3. So if you're eating 4 times a day, there's 7 days in a week, 75%, the low end of moderation, that means you missed 7 or indulged 7 or a combination of. That's basically 1 meal a week. Or say you're eating 4 times a day, 7 days a week, that's 28 meals. Well, what if you're consistent 5 of those days? That's 20 meals. There's 7 left over on the weekend where you missed or indulged. You're still at 75% if you do 4 meals a day. You're consistent with, you're eating what you're supposed to eat 4 times a week out of 5 days. That's 20 meals or smoothies. And those other 7, if you just miss them or you indulge, that's 75%. Now you don't want to overindulge. That's a different story. Okay. But again, 75% on the low end, you could, kind of have the weekend and you're strict during the week, Monday through Friday. I don't recommend that to make very good results over a long period of time, but it will work for quite a bit. And then 10% of that would be three meals or smoothies missed. So not a big deal. So again, on the nutrition side of things, to be consistent, if you're eating 28 meals a week, you can miss or indulge on 7 of those and still be at 75% consistency or 75% moderation. On the exercise side of moderation and consistency, okay, say you exercise 4 times a week, okay, for a month. Say there's usually 4 weeks in a month. That's 16 workouts a month. So 4 times a week for 1 month, that's 16 workouts. 75% of that is 4 workouts, okay? 10% of that is 2 workouts. So if you're exercising 4 times a week, every month, you're having 16 workouts a month. If you miss 75% of those workouts, that's 4 workouts that you've missed. So 3 workouts 4 times a week is 12 workouts. 12 plus 4 is the 16. So if you are at 75% of moderation for your workouts and you're supposed to be exercising for a goal of 4 times a week for a month, 16 workouts. If you did 3 times a week workout times a month, that would be 12 workouts. You're still in that low end of moderation, 75%, because you missed 4 workouts. 4 minus 16 is your 12, which is 3 times a week for 4 times. So you get what I'm saying. So strive for perfection only 75 to 90% of the time. So there's your moderation, 75 to 90%. You just got to be consistent with it is all. And if anybody has any questions or any comments on this, please, please, please write something in the comments section. Let me know. Yes, that is a lot of math. I love math. And if you ever have any questions or I go too much, just let me know. I'll slow down and break it down. But that is a lot of math. But that breaks your moderation down with real numbers. If you're just joining us, I am on number 5 with 5 ways how to be more consistent with your fitness. And let's get to number 5. Number 5. Make a mistake, get right back on track. Okay, so with nutrition, if you make a bad choice or have an unplanned indulgence, just keep it moving. Don't look back. All right, move on to your next meal or smoothie. There's nothing you could do about it. The time's gone. Just move forward. You can't erase what happened in the past, and it's really not a big deal. It's a drop in the bucket as far as everything's concerned. So if you make a bad choice or have an unplanned indulgence, just keep it moving. It's not an all or nothing thing. Not at all. Just move on and do your next meal or smoothie like it's supposed to be. And that's all. Okay. As far as, so that's on the nutrition side of things. On the physical activity side of things, you miss a workout or even a week of workouts. I mean, it happens sometimes. Keep it moving. Don't worry about it. Just continue to move forward. Have some compassion for yourself. It is just a drop in the bucket in the grand scheme of things. You have your whole life ahead of you. Don't worry about missing a week or even 2. Just get back on track and make your next workout as good as it can be and continue that trend and just continue to be that 75 to 90% consistent. You'll be all good. Okay. So that is number 5 in the 5 ways of how to be more consistent with your fitness. I hope you guys enjoyed it. All right, we got a little comment here. Denise, you're watching. Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate you, Denise. I'll see you tomorrow morning at the meeting, the virtual meeting. Industry leading professionals, another networking group. So if you're interested, see, I just plugged it right there. See you tomorrow. All right. Those are your 5 simple real world strategies to stay consistent with your fitness. And yes, they're also powerful tools for managing stress. Because when your workouts and nutrition are on point, even semi-consistent, you're not just building muscle or losing weight, you're building resilience, routine, and mental clarity. That's stress management in action. Here's how you can apply each one starting today. Number 1, make only one change at a time. Choose one small meal, one small meal to clean up this week. Keep it low stress. Think smoothie over drive-through. Keep it simple. Number 2, eat and exercise in a way that you enjoy. Try one new recipe or fun workout this week. Enjoyment equals less resistance equals less stress. Number 3, plan ahead so that you're always prepared. Pack your gym bag or prep that double smoothie. Reduce daily decision fatigue. It's a stress buster. Number 4, strive for perfection only 75 to 90% of the time. Audit your week. Did you hit the moderation number, the moderation zone? Did you hit it? That's where progress lives, without pressure. Number 5, make a mistake, get right back on track. Slip up, own it, learn, and keep it moving. Stress less, bounce back faster. Consistency is the antidote to chaos. So remember, keep it simple, keep it moving, and always keep it real. That wraps up today's fitness success segment. Next Monday is week 3. So we'll be discussing pillar 3, physical activity. Tips to stay active and energized no matter your fitness level. Want to join the conversation as a guest or have your questions featured on the next episode? Just drop a comment below. Yes, even if you're watching the replay, let us know and we'll make it happen. All right. Got a couple more comments here. Denise, you'll be there? All right. I hope so. You're our fearless leader. You got to be there. What else we got here? All right. Really awesome. Thanks, Denise. I appreciate you watching. Who else is watching? I mean, I got some eyeballs watching, but no one's commenting except for Denise. You know, who else is out there? Let me know. This is a live show, right? All right, let me move on. All right, let's move on to the final segment for today. The final segment for today is the Real Estate Roundup. The Real Estate Roundup segment keeps you updated on the latest in the real estate world. Whether you're interested in residential or commercial, this segment's got you covered. I'll invite guest experts on from time to time to share insights and discuss subjects that you want to hear more about. And I'd like to formally ask if you guys have anything at all that you would like to hear about as far as real estate is concerned. I'll feature it on our next show. All right. And then if you didn't already know, I happen to be with Jay Nuss Realty Group. Jay Nuss Realty Group, we are a commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm out of Braintree, Massachusetts, servicing all of Eastern Massachusetts. We specialize in commercial real estate transactions, including sales and leases. And we also consult on a variety of commercial real estate related matters, including, but not limited to, nonprofits, religious and otherwise, potentially environmentally compromised properties. Think about those 21Es, guys, right? And transit-oriented development. Other services include commercial lease audits. And if you or anyone you know owns a commercial property and wants to know its worth on the current market, we can do a commercial broker opinion of value for you. If you or someone you know is in need of a commercial real estate professional, please contact us directly or comment under this video and we'll follow up with you. All right. We also work with residential real estate brokers. So if you're a residential broker or agent in need of commercial expertise, please don't hesitate to contact us for assistance. We'll hook you up. What real estate topics spark your curiosity the most? Residential, commercial, or something else entirely? I'd really appreciate it if you shared your thoughts in the comments and let me know. And if you're watching the replay, your input is just as valuable. Your feedback will guide me in creating future content for this segment. I appreciate it. All right, so we got another comment. So, Casey Cole is watching too. Who else is watching? We got Denise and Casey. I know they're watching. We'll see if anyone else puts a comment. Let's keep it moving. All right, thanks for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Every week, we'll dive into important topics that will help you grow, with a mix of fun and practical advice, from nutrition habits to real estate, public speaking skills to networking strategies. This show is designed to inspire you, keep it real, and of course, keep it fun. Today, in the public speaking segment of the show, from Stagefright to Spotlight, we heard from Toastmasters District 31 leadership about why join Toastmasters. And I also shared with you how you can visit my next virtual Toastmaster meeting. Then in the Core 4 of Networking segment, my buddy Al and I discussed authenticity in networking, a core principle that really makes a difference when it comes to, guess what? Real lasting relationships, building those, okay? So in the fitness success segment, I walked you through 5 practical ways to stay consistent with your fitness and gave you some action steps, all right? Then lastly, in the Real Estate Roundup segment, I told you about the services of my commercial real estate brokerage and consulting firm, Jay Nuss Realty Group. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a comment about what you enjoyed. If you didn't like something, I'd like to know that too. All feedback is welcome. If you arrived after we started or missed any details or any of the segments, don't worry. You can always check out the replay. Before we end today's show, I have one last thing to share. Every show will end on a high note with a funny meme or a short, hilarious video to keep you smiling. Please stand by for this week's funny moment.
I think someone in the office is possessed by an owl.
Someone in the office is possessed by an owl?
Yeah.
Oh.
Turn that damn thing off.
That was cute. All right. Thanks for joining me tonight. And I can't wait to see you for more Keeping It Real. Be sure to leave your comments, share your thoughts, and don't hesitate to get involved. Stay tuned, stay engaged, and keep it real. See you next week on Monday, April 21st at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you then.
I know everybody a go lie. I know everybody a go lie. Success don't come overnight.